Hey fam, today we are jumping in how to best use Google Sheets as a CRM in its most basic form to keep track of leads and clients. This will be especially helpful if you do not actively use a CRM, but you'd like to keep better track of the client journey. But here, you get to skip over spending a ton of money and time learning how to use these robust CRM platforms. Google Sheets is free to use and very user-friendly. What's also great is that this can be a stepping stone for a more official CRM when the time is right. Organizing leads and clients here will make it super easy to transfer this info over at a later date. So you should see on your screen here an example of a lead database. This is strictly an example. I have fabricated these names and just pulled some of the best hospitals around the country to use as an example for you here. So you'll want to know important details such as contact information, of course, their organization, location, email, and phone number. And I like to keep things super simple. So I just use a note section to write out details of the relationship, usually including lead source, so how they found me, lead status, are they a lead, client, past client, last communications I had with them, special situations, follow-up intentions, etc. I put all of that in my notes, and then of course I update these notes with each new interaction. So I want to show you this special feature of turning this spreadsheet into a map so you can visualize your leads geographically. This is huge when trying to bundle or tag on additional gigs to a current anchor gig that's already in place. All right, so once you have your database and your spreadsheet set up, what you would do is you come in here to insert, and we're going to go over here to chart. Okay, right now this is a blank chart. You're going to want to come over here to the chart column, the chart type. And there's going to have all these different chart types. You're going to scroll down to the map. There's going to be a geo chart and a geo chart with markers. You want to choose the one with markers. Okay? It's okay if it gives you an error here, just aggregate your information. And we're getting a little bit closer, but I would love to see this maybe just as a view of the United States. Right now we see a world map, which isn't super effective since all of our leads are only in the United States. So if I come over here again on the right over to customize, we have chart style and geo. If you go into geo, right now it's showing the world, but we can drop down this menu. And I mean, if you have people in Canada and whatnot, you can do North America, or in our case, we're just going to do the United States. So now we have a much prettier view of our chart, and we can start to analyze it and read it, right? So actually what I like to do to kind of make this a little bit bigger and more reader friendly, I come up here to the top right with the dots, and I'm going to come over here to move to own sheet. So here it expands it for me. It's a little bit cleaner as well. And the cool thing is that if you look down here, it's still within the same database, the same file that you have for your database and all of your text and all of your information. It's just on a different sheet as a new chart over here. Okay, so you have all of this still in one place. You can switch over from your list to your map. All right, but now that we have our map, we can dive in and we can start to take a look at this, right? All right, so let's say you have a gig coming up in the West Coast and you want to focus on any of your West Coast leads that you have. So if we come over here and we start hovering over them, it'll start to tell us the organizations that these dots represent, right? And if you have some that are a little closer like this, they'll give you a little magnifying glass, and then you can hover over those as well, and they'll start to identify. So what I do here is I'll just write down the name of the organization, or I'll just flip back and forth, but I'll start writing down all the leads that we have, and then I'll come over into my database and I will dive into each of those leads. Look at the notes, see what our relationship status is with them, and then go from there and start to reach out. And hopefully I can tag on another gig or two while I'm already in the area. This is a beautiful thing because you're creating a win-win for yourself and for these organizations. You don't have to do as much travel, and you can pass off that savings to them, which makes that win-win. Cool, huh? All right, I have one more free CRM-like tool that I want to show you quickly while we're inside of Google Workspace. So if we switch over to Gmail within our inbox, a lot of us use Google and Gmail for our email service provider. So I think this is worth mentioning to you guys here. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a tool that could remind us to follow up with recent email communications? Well, you do have that tool, a free tool right inside your Gmail called Snooze that will do just this. All right, so let me show you. So for example, any email that you want to snooze, you're gonna click on it over here and you're gonna see this clock right here. This is your snooze option. You also have it on the far right over here with each individual email. So if we click on this, it gives you the option to delay this, to snooze this until later today, tomorrow, next week, or we can even pick a time and a place. Let's say someone reaches out to us on Friday the 28th and we want to follow up with them in 2 weeks. We can set that, we can adjust the time if we want, and boom. Now that will remind me to follow up with them on the appropriate date later. You will see that it has now disappeared from our inbox, but if you go over here into snoozed, you'll find it right there. If you want to unsnooze it, if you want to change the frequency, the duration of it, you can do all of that back in here. So if, for example, if I unsnooze it, you're going to see it right back at the top of my inbox there. All right. Listen, guys, I am a huge believer in building your business around you and your strengths and not the other way around. If a CRM seems too daunting or expensive at this time in your journey, you don't have to miss out on building relationships with your clients and potential clients. Find ways to work smarter, not harder, and help your business and message thrive. If you are using any of these resources in your business, I'd love to hear from you and your experiences. As you implement them as well, let me know how I can help. I am here for you.